Welcome back to the channel. I'm Joe. We got the GX back in the garage again, piggybacking off of last week's video about engine codes. I'm going to talk to you about the hardware and software that I use to check and clear my engine codes. So stay tuned. That's right. I use the same stuff on both of my vehicles. The 4Runner, the GX, I used it on my other 4Runner. I used it on my Explorer when I had it, my Jeep when I had it. So the code reader that I use is this little OBD2 unit, runs off of Bluetooth. It works with Apple and Android devices. It is the Veepeak unit, and I will drop a link down below. You'll see it up on the screen there. I got it from Amazon. I've actually bought two of these. I keep one in the 4Runner and one in the GX full-time, plugged in, so that I can read codes anytime I'm driving, stopped, whatever. It's in there, ready to go. 30 to 40 bucks. There's a couple different sellers. Some of them come with like an extension cord if you don't want to crawl up underneath your dash every time or whatever. But I've been running these for a couple years now, and they have been awesome. Actually, more than a couple years, because I had one in my 4th gen back before it was totaled for my Diagnostics, and I used it to read real-time transmission coolant or transmission fluid temps when I'm towing, and that's what I use it for a lot of times in the summer in the GX. But anyway, that is the code reader that I use. The app that I use on my phone is called OBD Fusion. Now, if you go through the description on Amazon of the reader, the comment section, if you watch videos on this particular one, there are several different apps that will work with this. Some of them are free, some of them are pay. Let's see, I think, of course it doesn't tell me because I already have it. I think the OBD Fusion one is a pay. I think it was $9.99, I think. But it works on free ones too. I know that because I put a free one, a really simplified free one, on my wife's phone, so that if that code from last week that we talked about, that limp mode, comes on, she can get into that while she's in town. If I'm not there, read the code, clear it, boom, done. She's not caring about long and short-term fuel trims and air intake temps and transmission fluid temperatures. She doesn't need all that, which this OBD Fusion one does offer. That is definitely a pay for service. It's a one-time payment thing. It gives you access to all kinds of information in the ECU. Toyota, Lexus ECUs, especially, at least from what I know of this generation, are not super DIY, like home user friendly. Like, not that we're talking about tuning, but it's very difficult to get in to tune them, to do things, anything other than the factory specified it to do with their factory software. Even if you have the Toyota software to get in there, there's not a whole lot you can do besides, I don't know, changing like how long the dome light stays on, stuff like that. Nothing to do with mechanicals. But anyway, so I've got the Veepeak, I got the OBD Fusion. We're gonna hop in the car. I'm gonna turn the car on. I'm gonna open this. We're gonna do a screen grab, and I'm just gonna show you how I go through it. I'm gonna trip a check engine light. I'll just like unplug the MAF or something so that the check engine light comes on. I'll show you how to read that, clear it, and we'll be on our way. Okay, I've got my app open here. The car is currently off. I unplugged the MAF sensor to trigger a check engine light. I turned the ignition to on, not the accessory, the one past. I'm not going to turn the car on. You could if you want. I can tell you for a fact that with the car running and not even in park, you can read the codes and clear the codes, which with this setup that I'm using, which is extremely helpful for the code that I talked about last week. If you get limp mode while you're in traffic, if you pull up to a stoplight, you can read the code, clear it, and you're good to go on your way again without ever having to turn the car off, go park somewhere, whatever. So we have the check engine light on. We are going to click the connect at the bottom. Of course, this is already set up with my Bluetooth pairing. You'll need to do that beforehand. It's going to prompt you to select what kind of vehicle you have, which a lot of times it doesn't necessarily matter, or it will read it automatically. I use the same app for 2 vehicles, and it knows which one's which. So we're going to click the generic at the top. You can see there's lots of other options. Some of them work, some of them don't. Most of those come with the upgraded software app that I have paid for. So we're going to scroll down, connect. We're going to wait. Connects relatively quickly. It's already connected. We're going to click the top right here at Diagnostics. Sometimes, let's see, I had the app open earlier, so it goes right into it. A lot of times it will just prompt you to read the trouble codes. So we're going to hit refresh. If it didn't prompt me to refresh, this is what you would get. All of these, I always select the select all, because again, I have the extra stuff. You can just select the generic for these type of codes, no big deal. Anything that you're going to get on this, that's going to be good to go for you. Current or historical codes, I always click the historical just because I like to see if there's anything stored in there. So we've got a P0113, which again, if you Google that, is going to point you mostly towards MAF sensor. And so that would be kind of somewhere that you would go. And there's additional information down here. We're not going to worry about any of that stuff, but we are going to scroll down to the bottom, clear trouble codes, select all, continue, yes, and then this is going to pop you back into the rereading the codes. It has cleared the codes now, and the code the check engine lights should be gone from your dash, but it's going to re-scan the computer just to get you back to where you started. Select all, continue, historical, current, continue. And no trouble codes were detected. And of course, that took me longer because I was explaining it and I was selecting other things. You can literally, in this vehicle, at least with my setup, if I have that limp mode, I can be driving up to a stoplight, have my wife pop on here, connect it, run the diagnostics, find the trouble code, be ready to hit that clear codes button as soon as I come to a complete stop at the stoplight, clear the codes, hit the yes, whatever it is, code is gone, and I'm out of limp mode before the light turns green. So, but anyway, that is the stuff that I use. If you want to take a look at some of the other features here, we've got the dashboard section, which is not going to read anything really in real time because the car's not running. I'm in the garage with the door closed because it's cold. But I've got my trans temps, which comes with the extended app package, and of course all of these things in here you can go in, change the dials, the colors, the arrangement, the names on them, the numbers, the variables, and yeah, I've got O2 sensors, I've got air fuel, I've got long-term fuel trims. Those are not great right now from the last time it read it because it was cold and the car wasn't warmed up. But when you're trying to diagnose MAF stuff, secondary air injection stuff, can be useful. I've got my O2 voltages, cat temp. So yeah, I've been really happy with this app, and there's a quick overview of what you're going to be looking at. Well, that pretty much wraps it up. I hope it wasn't too confusing for you guys. I'm sure some of you have been interested in what stuff I've been using for my engine codes. If you've been following the channel for a while, you know that I fought codes for a long time with that whole secondary air injection system, and that's what I used the whole time, and I'm still using it. I like it. There is a lot of options out there as far as the code readers, the apps, the software for it. I watched a bunch of videos before I made my purchase. There is another setup that I don't remember what it is. Mainly I think it's an app, but I think there's also another extremely popular code reader. I actually did that version first because it seemed awesome on a lot of the the DIY off-road guys, especially with Toyotas. I didn't like it that much. I think it's better if you are using an Android device, if I remember properly. A lot of people are using Android tablets in their vehicles for GPS, for diagnostics and stuff, and it seemed to work extremely well for that. But of course I use Apple stuff just because that's what I use. So that's what I ended on. If you have any comments, questions, please leave those down below. Email me, hawkeyeskunkworks@gmail.com. I do the best that I can to try and answer. And of course, if you have recommendations, I'm not going to change, but other people watching this video are probably interested in that. leave that information down below for the good of the community. So be sure to check out my other videos, and if you're new to the channel, you know the routine. Thumbs up, subscribe, and until the next video drops, thank you for watching. Take care. Goodbye.